All right, excellent, excellent. So, I would hope you have a journal available with you. If you are multitasking, I totally get it. Um, the journal is going to be for you to write down things that you get inspired by through this. Once again, I'm Rachel Kirk. I'm the Woo Woo Guru. Welcome to Awakened Awareness. This is years in the making. I was somebody that was living in unconscious unawareness for years, always being told what to do and trying to follow through to make it happen. And then when I would fail, I would get so upset at myself. And I realized that a lot of the systems that we have in place that have been embedded in us are failed systems for people that have emotions, which is every single one of us. Um, so awareness really puts into perspective what really matters. And what really matters is dependent on everybody's personality, dependent on the individual. Something that matters to me may not matter to you. And I think that is one of the greatest things about awareness. It allows us to be individuals, it allows us to appreciate each other as individuals. So as you become more aware and more conscious of the person that you want to be, as you start learning more about yourself, start at getting educated about the world around you and what's going on and what you have access to, your awareness expands in its entirety, as does your support system. One of the greatest gifts of awareness is the availability of your support system right around you at all times. Like, I know everybody's just like, I don't have a lot of support. I feel alone a lot. I get that. I get that 1000%. But I want you to know in those moments, you're absolutely the most supported by your spirit team because your spirit team is keeping you here. And your spirit team could be guides, it could be past ones, it could be teachers, it could be masters, it could be anybody. But we all have these guides looking out for us. And one step of awareness that we've been taught to kind of keep to the wayside, or that it's woo woo, or it's magic, or it's BS, is your spirit team. We're all born with one, we all have access to them. And it's a really beautiful thing to have. So, and it's not hard to access them. You can ask for signs, you can ask for dreams, you can ask anything, they're available to you really at all times. But a lot of times we've been blocked by them because if you think right now, Rachel, you're crazy, I don't know what you're talking about. Obviously, your spirit team is not in contact with you because you're so totally blocked from them that you're not able to reach them. And that's what a great level of awareness gives you, is the access to that spirit team, the access to that guidance, the access to that support at all times. But also, when we connect, as you become more aware, you begin to really set out little energetic pulses. And people know, like, when I first met some of you, like, I just felt a pulse. I knew we were together at one point in our past lives, and now we're here now. And this goes for every single person I've met. Um, I feel the pulsating, and that's a level of awareness that you can definitely have as well. When you first meet somebody, and I'm sure everybody has this, you meet somebody and you feel home, you feel loved, you feel support, you feel welcomed. And then I'm sure there are other times in your life where you couldn't create a connection with anybody, not even, in the supermarket of saying hi to somebody, you even had this attitude problem maybe come over you and you don't even realize it. Um, that's why developing awareness is so amazing and so important to do. So we're really, when the more awareness you develop, the more conscious you become of your behavior and the behavior of others. It allows you to really personally grow into the person you want to be. Now, like I said, we've been programmed from a young age, from our past generations, our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers. This has all been mapped out. And we are all here together to further expand our awareness, because we are at a point in humanity where we're realizing we're doing it wrong. And we've been doing it wrong. We're killing people's creativity. And some people like this. Some people like, well, they're all falling in line. That's what they want to do. Yeah, that's what they wanted us to do, So, but now we have awareness. We're developing awareness for ourselves, and we're deciding who we want to be, where we're going, who we're going to take with us. And really, it's just a level of home that you've never felt before, as you are becoming more and more and more aware. And like, you get to a point where you're just like, okay, I'm really aware right now. And then there's more to discover. There's always more to discover, because you can reflect on your past too. And your perspective of your past has changed as you educate yourself more and more and more. But the biggest thing is, the point of this is to always stay grounded, but continuously keep educating yourself further on your healing. If there is healing, there is room for improvement. There is room for additional awareness and consciousness. So, I mean, I used to be a robot. I used to be very unconscious. I used to overwork. I used to be out of control with my emotions. I had no value. I followed things by the book. How can I be as numb as possible and keep freaking going? But make as much money as possible. Like, that was the biggest thing, right? And that was me. I was a people pleaser. I was very codependent on my family, my husband, my trauma. And I always felt overwhelmed. I always felt that the only thing I was good at was working. And from a young age, I really wanted to be a mom. And when I wasn't a good mom, it hurt. But I was aware that I wasn't being the mother I wanted to be. So I really had a conversation with myself and took the steps to become the mother I wanted to be, the mother I didn't have necessarily. And that's what awareness has helped me do. Now, there are different states of consciousness, and there's different impacts and perceptions and experiences. The first two are very ego and fear driven. And this is for somebody that is very not aware. So the number one, life happens to me. You feel victimized, helpless, you have no power. Only someone or something else has the power to change things. So complete no responsibility, putting everything in everybody else's court. And that's life happens to me. Excuse me. Next one, life happens by me. Now, you think you have control over everything. Things happen because you make them happen, and you are highly, highly driven. But you see with those two, how they're ego and fear driven. You think you have control over everything because you make things happen. You're not supposed to make things happen. Like, I know, like, the process of it and everything like that, but there's supposed to be a flow to life. There's supposed to be a trust in life. And making things happen is such an aggressive way to do things. And then, feeling victimized and helpless, that's just a level of not being in control of who you are, but also just letting other people decide your fate. And that's the lowest level of consciousness. The trust and love motivated consciousness is life happens through me. So you're here for a reason and have purpose. You're in touch with your higher power, and you trust you will get your needs met. I mean, just even saying that is beautiful. Like, I am here for a reason. I have purpose. I am in touch with my higher power, and I trust my needs will get met. I mean, it just feels empowering just saying that. And having that awareness to say that, which is like 1000% true. Um, but having the awareness of saying that just makes you even more powerful in the moment. So when you return back to yourself, like, if you're just like ever overwhelmed, or if you're ever in a situation where you're in a spiral, you're getting angry, you're reacting with your body because your mind can't handle what's happening, you know return back to those affirmations. I'll type them out. You are here for a reason and have purpose. You are in touch with your higher power. I trust my needs will get met. Like, beautiful quotes. So I'll put those into an affirmation form and send them out to you. But number 4, life happens as me. Life happens as me. Oh, what greatness is that, right? There is no separation between you and spirit and you and others. You operate from compassion and are an extension of everything. Yes. I mean, what a beautiful opportunity that is. I mean, I don't, there are so many situations where life happens as me, but sometimes life happens by me, sometimes life happens through me. The life happens to me, I've completely eliminated at this point, but the life happens through me and the life happens as me. How powerful are those? And I'm going to share this like decal in our Facebook group as well, but there is no separation between me and spirit and me and others. I operate from compassion and am an extension of everything. And that's awareness, baby. That's 1000% the highest level of awareness you can be, to the point where you are just literally ebb and flowing with life. Life is happening as you. And that is the level of awareness we're looking for. It's really a mindset switch for a lot of situations. For a lot of situations that we feel like we are completely powerless over, we're totally not. I mean, a lot of times we have been told we are powerless. A lot of times we feel like we have accepted it and just gotten used to it. And we're just like, it is what it is kind of thing. It's not. That is a disempowering statement. It's not, it is what it is, because that is acceptance, that you are just going to accept that this is the way it is. You can change it. If you are putting yourself first, if you have the developed awareness, you want more. You want better for you. You want to take care of you. And that's what awareness is as well. It's giving you the opportunity to say, I really don't like this shit. This is what I need to do to get this done. I don't really like the people I'm around. They ignite something really bad within me. Okay, I need to go somewhere else. I need to get better friends. You know what? I don't really like how my husband's been treating me lately. He has not been communicating properly. Things like that. It's discussions. You need to have these discussions and bring things to light, or else they're not going to get solved. And that's a level of awareness as well. But also the acceptance part of it. There are some things that you just have to accept and let go. And that is a big lesson of this as well, is just pick your battles, choose your battles. You can battle them at any time. Like, if there's something that is going to be quick for you that you can forgive and just let it go because you want to move on, because there's an acceptance level there, then do it. If that's what you need to do. We can always revisit this, especially if somebody is not changing their behavior and it's not a good time right now to have a discussion with them. There is a level of acceptance that you can achieve right now to get yourself focused on another situation. This way you can get through that situation and then maybe revisit this one. The awareness is not tackling everything at once. I don't want you to be quitting your job, getting a divorce, losing 150 pounds, whatever. I don't want you to be doing every single thing at once. The point of awareness is being aware that, yes, things need to change, but I don't need to take on every single thing at once. But the biggest thing you should be taking on is yourself. You know, all of those things are still outside of you. You know, yes, they're a part of you, your job, your relationship, your friends. Yes, they are a big part of you, but they are not you right now. What are you doing right now that you are aware of, that you are taking care of yourself on a daily basis? And I'm not talking about taking a shower, I'm not talking about brushing your teeth. What are you doing every day for you? For you. Like, are you nurturing yourself? Are you watering yourself? Are you doing at least one thing that brings you joy, that is not related to motherhood, that's not related to um you know, being with your husband, doing the household stuff? Like, is there something for you that you are doing daily? And if not, why? And if not now, when? Like, as we develop this awareness, like, you and I and please get upset. Get upset a little bit. Like, you don't have to get mad at particular people. You and I'm not even asking you to get mad at yourself, but I am asking you to release some anger energy for the lack of awareness you may have had in your life, to the point where you ignored your intuition or your awareness because change was scary, because you didn't value yourself enough. And I want you to get angry about that. But then I want you to forgive it and move on, because that person doesn't exist because if anymore, because if they did still exist, you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be here watching this amazing video and waking the fuck up, okay? I mean, for real, you wouldn't be. So when we have like this ego, uh, the ego is always going to be a part of us. The ego is part of our identity. It's part of our personality. I mean, it's there's so much there with the ego part of it, um, where I feel like we have in the society, like, ego is bad, ego is, you know, is not okay, you know, like, ego shows way too much. The ego is never good or bad. It's just a part of our mind that creates attempts to create our identity. And sometimes it's protecting us. Sometimes it goes too far, like the imposter syndrome. Like I was talking about the other day, like how imposter syndrome really is healthy sometimes. There has to be a balance though. The ego creates like a steady stream of thoughts in our mind based on our past. And we've been there a while. We don't need to be in the past anymore. So as you develop awareness of your ego, and you develop awareness of how your ego has sometimes kept you small. This big personality, this big ego that you have stuck inside of you, that sometimes tells you that you're wrong when you're really, you know, you're 1,000% right. This big thing creates the future by what has happened in the past. And that's where we need to detach from our ego. That's where we need to return to consciousness. That's where we need to stay in awareness, because that ego is sometimes our worst enemy. And it's really hard to keep with awareness when the ego is so overwhelming. So when you have those limiting beliefs, I want you to come up with an affirmation. Doesn't matter what the limiting belief is. As soon as something comes in your mind, I want you to have something that you are going to come back at it with, like to combat it, if you will. Where, you know, oh, I'm not worthy of getting a massage. Maybe the thing that you say is, I'm worthy. I'm worthy all the time. I'm worthy all the fucking time. You know, having that awareness of knowing that you are worthy. Oh, the time. You are worthy all the time. And this allows you to take control of your life, to not let that ego overcome you, to let life happen as you. Life happen through you. Life happen through you. Life happen as you. That's what overcoming the ego is. Now, like I said, ego is good sometimes. There's a healthy balance here. But a lot of times the ego is fear-based, causing us to be defensive and emotionally attached to what other people think of us. And gosh, that's kind of been ingrained in us for a long time. Like, you shouldn't care about what other people think. And meanwhile, my parents are freaking caring about what other people think. Well, Rachel, don't do that in public. I mean, what, what confusing subliminal messaging is that? I mean, but honestly, as you become more aware, you stop caring so much about what people think of you. And that's a really great part of this as well. You know, my shift occurred where I always had a very spontaneous and bubbly personality, type A, very like golden retriever, you know, Jack Russell Terrier, you know, all the dogs, dachshund sometimes, um, but now the switch has been that I'm not doing things to please other people. I'm not doing things because I want to impress somebody else. I'm doing this because I love myself. I'm doing this because this is what I enjoy doing. I'm doing this because I know my value. I'm doing this because I know my purpose. I'm doing this because I'm embodied by who I am. I'm doing this because I really want to reach people on their level and uplift them into a higher vibration, into a higher level of consciousness that is available to us all at all times. That's why I'm doing this. And this is awakened awareness. I mean, this is awakened awareness. This is aware of your ego and realizing that much of our suffering is within our ego beliefs. So we're meeting the ego. We're talking to the ego. We're loving that ego. With that, it brings us the power of consciousness and awareness, knowing that our ego is the part of our mind that creates the identity, but the identity of the perception of what other people want us to have. And knowing that and being like, you know, I could act like that today, but I'm going to act like me. I could put a smile on my face, but I don't want to today. You know, it's really feeling and being in the moment, being consciously aware of the person you are in the moment and who you're surrounded by, having the awareness of who you're surrounded by, being safe around the people you're surrounded by, being safe around people as well. I mean, like, the really beautiful awareness is such a beautiful process, and there's so many layers to it. So yeah, it's really one of the greatest practices that you can use to process awareness further and become more aware in the moment is that affirmation practice. I'll put out some affirmations out there. I'll put a list together, and post them in the Facebook book group, which will like show what to say when that imposter syndrome just won't stop. But also, I know that sometimes our mind gets the better of us. There are other tools that you can have in your toolbox, that when you are overwhelmed, when you feel like you are totally dissociated and unaware, there are several tools that you can use. Meditation is one of them. Breath work is another. There's also EFT tapping. I'm going to take you through a breathwork exercise real quick. This is called ocean breathing. Ocean breathing is one of my favorite types of breathing because it's very intentful. You're breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth, but you're breathing out making an ocean wave sound. So, and out. Like just the sound of it. So let's do that 4 times. Breathe in, out through the mouth. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Last time, breathe in and breathe out. I'll give you a second. Like, check in with yourself. How'd that feel? I feel real good. Oh, just like there's so many tools available, and I'm going to be putting a body scanning tool in there. Also, I did a mirror meditation that's available on YouTube. I will tag that into the account, into the Facebook group. I want to, this is going to be for tomorrow, but I want to go over it a little bit. When we're talking about awareness, there are going to be people in this world that aren't aware as you are, and won't get it and never will. That is where either acceptance comes in or change. Because if you're not going to change it and they're not going to change it, you either have to accept it or you have to go away. That is because you know your value, you know your worth, and you are aware. Now, if you have a person in your life that you know why they are the way that they are, you are aware, you perceive them correctly, their intentions are clear, but you know why they're like this. You have to let them figure it out. Stop giving them shortcuts. Stop giving them additional advice. Stop doing this work for them. This work is for you. You don't do things for them. They need to figure this out on their own, just like you did. You can't figure it out with them. I think the biggest culprit with awareness is the fact that people who are aware want to make up for the people that are unaware. And we have to stop doing that. Mothers with sons, especially. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we really have to stop doing that as just a overall society. You know, everybody has to do this work. If they're not going to do it, that's not your problem. But what you decide to, and the relationship you have with them is. And if they're not willing to do the work and become aware of the people they are, that is not your responsibility. And stop taking responsibility for them. Let them figure it out. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? Isn't that the quote? I think so. So what awareness is that? You know, like the horse is thirsty and you let him to water and he still won't drink. That's a sign that that person isn't ready or doesn't want the help, doesn't believe this can help them. And that's okay. We're not doing this for them. We're doing this for you, baby. And you're getting what you deserve. So, all right, we're going to do a very quick meditation. I'm actually going to stop my video. This way you don't have to focus on me at all, but please listen to to my voice. This is a cultivating presence meditation. So here we go. I want you to, gently find a comfortable position, closing your eyes gently. And we're going to begin our journey into